So Ultimate Wolverine issue 11. Man, this one hits hard. And just based on some of the things that we learned in this issue, we may just get a crazy revelation just around the corner. So with that said, if you're enjoying these videos, be sure to drop a like, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and don't forget to hit that bell up top to get all notifications. Alright, so this picks up with a speech from Mikhail Rasputin that's being broadcasted to the people of the Eurasian Republic, which right off the bat is a really big deal, with Mikhail being the sibling of Colossus and Magic, who everyone believed was killed in the Mikhail Massacre, hence the name. So to open up with him giving this speech, it has everyone listening. As he goes on to say here, it started small, as these things do. Started by organizing, gathering, learning. We were a secret club at first, idealistic. In order for our delicate house of cards to stand, we formed a strong foundation to build upon. Loyalty was necessary. Loyalty, honesty, trust. These things aren't a given. They must be earned. And we earned them. It took time, but we proved ourselves worthy of it. Snippets of information would break through the propaganda. Change was coming. It was in the air. But change can often be violent. Change breaks bones, minds, hearts. But the people, they heard the call, soft as a whisper, a trickle in its infancy. It flowed into a rushing river. And all rivers, though rough, winding, and rocky in their route, lead to freedom, the sweetest of words. But like honey on a bear's paw, it's a most delicate thing. Our opponents know that freedom means death to them. They know that a caged beast fights the fiercest, but face to face, the oppressed and the oppressor become one and the same. Two beasts, one way forward. One lives and one dies. And now currently both Magic and Colossus are watching this live stream. And like we saw before, they're already aware of the fact that Mikhail is still alive. So that part's no surprise to them. But Mikhail goes on to say here, so it's time we reveal ourselves. No more whispers or secrets. We are the opposition. We have fought and we have died for our freedom. And it is your choice now to decide how you want to live. Join us. Or, and right there, Colossus is just like, I don't want to hear the CTA, cut it off. But to Magic, she's like, Mikhail wasn't wrong when he said two beasts and one way forward, because she's like, nice of him to account for the both of us. Because in this very moment, Director Prestovic is preparing the Cerebomb to be used on the opposition. Because like we saw in the last issue, she found their base of operations after discovering the missing power plant in Chernobyl was actually physically still there. And now as it stands, after they sent Arcady or Omega Red to go attack the opposition, they have since left the power plant in Chernobyl and now they're on the move. So for the foreseeable future for the opposition, they no longer have the advantage of having a secure base. So to carry out this attack, which they're calling Operation Serpent Hunt, they're assigning their best and brightest to this mission because there's only one Cerebomb, with it being made from the brain of Charles Xavier, so they only have one shot. So for this reason, only Director Prestovic and a couple others know about Operation Serpent Hunt, which if you guys remember, back when Magic took Director Prestovic on that little field trip to Limbo. At the time, this was a result of the opposition having a bit of a win streak, from safely transporting mutants to more recently at this point getting Logan back. But it was at this time when Magic literally put some fire underneath the director's butt to get her to step things up. And that's when we found out that she was going to prepare the Cerebomb. So for the director, it's quite literally how Mikhail described this whole scenario. Because if this Cerebomb doesn't work, she's done. So to carry this out, specific directions are given to the pilot. He's given the coordinates, and he's told here Leader Ilyana will open a portal. You will fly into it. She will drop you into enemy airspace. You will get the jump on them. You will drop the bomb, then you are home free. And that's when the director goes to tell him, remember, this is an untested weapon. We only have one. I do not know the terminology, but maintain height and leave quickly. We do not know the strength of the blast. And right away, Magic opens this huge portal. Like she can't wait. Like, come on, people, let's go. And that's where the pilot heads out. And now after this, we head over to the opposition's current temporary base, where we find Gambit answering a phone call, where he's like, hello. And he asks them if they know the time, which is like their passcode thing. And once they tell him, he's like, all right, now we're cooking with grease. Who this? But as it turns out, it's a call for Logan. And the person who's on the other end of the call just happens to be Victor, who was previously working with the opposition, and we last saw him in issue 10, when he gave Logan the Muramasa blade just before leaving with Artie and Leech because he was concerned for their safety. And they were all able to slip out just as Arcady's attack began. So now with him calling, on one hand this lets Logan know that Victor and the kids are okay. But on the other hand, Victor tells Logan here that he saw Mikhail give his message, which is what let him know that they made it out safely. But then when he tells Logan here that things are getting crazier than usual, which at first has Logan like, yeah, nah, you're not wrong. Then Logan admits that he doesn't think Miguel's announcement about the opposition was such a good decision. So Victor's like, yeah, I know, you've always been a lone wolf. But then Logan tells him, look, I got Rasputin. Took his head clean off with the blade you gave to me. And I think Miguel's on a victory lap for himself because of it. Shouldn't be. These Rasputins ain't the Quentin type. We hit him hard, made him look like a bunch of fools. Weak, got their country turning on them, the world, all at the hands of their own brother. They ain't gonna let that slide, Victor. And that's where Victor's like he's their brother. You don't think he knows them better than you? An outsider, looking in. And Logan's like, of course he knows them. That's not the point. He's getting cocky, Victor. You know what that means. And Victor's like, he's getting sloppy. And that is exactly what Logan's talking about here. So he tells Victor, I don't think we should stay here. We gotta keep moving. There ain't no telling what the Republic knows. And right there, Victor's like, you think there's a rat? And I'm gonna tell you right now, I do. I feel like that person who talks at the TV in the middle of a scene. There's a rat, Logan. Somebody ratting. Well, right there, Logan's like, I don't know what I think. Maybe not. Probably not. I worry sometimes. They took stuff. People. Places. I worry they took it out of my brain. Out of someone else's. Tracked us somehow. And it's right here where Logan catches a whiff of something unfriendly as a bright circle opens in the sky with a jet flying through. And at first there's this shock of like, okay, what is that? And that's even what Black Widow says here. But at a closer look, Wolverine's just like, bomb. So right away he tells the others, they know we're here. They got a bomb. Evacuate. And he runs over to David Haller, who's known as One. And he tells him, hey, numero uno, I need you to take me up in the air. Now. And as Logan hops aboard the transport Sentinel, Miguel's like, what are you doing? We need the transport to, and Logan just tells him no time, gotta try and stop it. And he tells Miguel to try to get everyone out of here in case he can't. So Miguel quickly tells everyone to evacuate as Logan steps in and he gets strapped down and he tells One, all right, like he's ready. And David just kind of looks at him for a moment. So Logan just starts punching the top of the cabin like, fly, you bucket of bolts. Like, let's go. What you waiting on? And just like that, they're up and away, heading straight for this jet. And now we were told before, this pilot is one of the best the Eurasian Republic has. Or better yet, their best pilot. So when Wolverine and David close in, this dude just maneuvers right around them on some Top Gun danger zone type stuff. And back on the ground as Miguel's trying to get as many people out of there as he can, Gambit comes to tell him that they don't have any more room. The truck's filled with ammo, so they can't take anyone else. So right there, Miguel grabs him and he's like, make the room. So Gambit tells him we can try. But this just goes to show how much Miguel cares about getting everyone out of there. And I have some other thoughts I want to add to that we'll talk about in a moment. But right now, back up in the sky, Logan's telling One, like, come on, let's get him. So they turn around and head down after this jet, full speed. And as the opposition and everyone with them is still trying to get situated to get everyone out of there, Logan's closing in on this jet. But at this point, the pilot is locked on his target. He's got confirmation to drop the bomb, and things really get tense here. Because back on the ground, as Miguel and the others start looking up, Logan and One nearly got their hands on the jet, and the Cerebral bomb is released. And when Logan sees that bomb fall, he just reacts. And I mean, at this point, with him just diving after the bomb, I'm not really sure what the plan is, or even if there was one, because it's almost like as soon as he saw it drop and he was like, I gotta do something, because there's really no time to think about what can be done at this point. But as he's diving for it and everything turns white, we see the different members of the opposition either looking up or saying their goodbyes just before the Cerebral bomb detonates. And after the blast, it just sends Logan tumbling. Afterwards, he goes back to the others and there's just bodies everywhere. Everyone's laid out. And when I first saw this, my jaw dropped. I was like, come on, ain't no way, man, come on. And for a moment I was like, where's Miguel? Because, you know, I had my suspicions of him being a double agent who had been given the task of rounding up the opposition all in one place so they could be killed. And when we learned about the Miguel massacre, he faked his death in a very similar way. But as it turns out, his body is physically here and he's gone just like everyone else. But after what Logan said to Victor over the phone about how Logan was worried about someone taking things out of his brain or out of someone else's, this had me thinking like, man, what if Logan and Miguel are both missing some crucial information? Because if it turns out that Miguel was brainwashed into believing that he was good, so he would betray the Eurasian Republic and join the opposition just to set them up, I wouldn't put it past Ultimate Ilyana to set up something dark like this, because she's more than proven herself to be pure evil in this universe. Especially in Ultimate Spider-Man Incursion, where she's ready to kill a child without batting an eye. And it's funny how when we saw the reaction that Colossus had after he found out about Miguel, Magic on the other hand showed little to no emotion. So yeah, and I'm sure it's gonna get brought up in the comments, like, hey, what about David? Doesn't the One make sure that everyone's mind is good when they join the opposition? Well, for starters, we don't even know if they did that for Miguel, since he was helping the opposition from the inside before he switched. And secondly, there's been a few moments here and there where it doesn't seem like David is the sharpest tool in the shed. But regardless, I'm not trying to point any fingers, because at the end of the day, I was hoping to see so much more of these guys, and now just to see them all get wiped out, it just has me thinking like, man, you can't never get attached to mutants in Marvel Comics, because there's a massacre coming at some point, and anyone who's nearby, they're gonna catch it too, mutant or not. And to be honest, it's almost like a 2-for-1, because Logan is no stranger to pain, loss, survivor's guilt, so it's like the massacre and his suffering from the loss of his friends and loved ones is like a 2-for-1 package deal. And now back over with the leaders of the Eurasian Republic. We see Colossus and Magik get the news that it was a direct hit and the opposition is no more. And director Prestovic goes on to say, initial reading suggests the Cerebon performed exceptionally well. Perhaps we should utilize the Phoenix specimen for a similar weapon. And that's where Colossus is like, very good, this is very good. But even now, Magik, she's already prepared for the next step. Because she says here, it is a victory, brother. This is true. The opposition may be dead, but the infection has spread. And my children in limbo grow hungry. Because now with so many people turned against them, Magik is ready to send these people to limbo in waves. And I can see her making an announcement, not like Mikhail's, but Magik gonna be like, nothing beats a limbo holiday, because right now I'm sending 50 demons per person. But no, that'll do it for this one, guys. So if you enjoyed the video, be sure to drop a like and let me know what's on your mind after seeing all this. Because any way you look at it, man, it's messed up. And so now real quick, I want to give a special shout out to all the patrons. Thank you guys for all of your support. And for anyone who's new here, who wants more information on how to support the channel, I got a link below where you can go to patreon.com/dopespill. But that'll do it for this one, guys. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, and we'll do it again on the next one. Alright, later.